Mental Health Association New Jersey is a statewide nonprofit organization that strives for children and adults to achieve victory over mental health and substance use disorders through advocacy, education, training. The New Jersey Mental Health Players is the longest running community education program of its type in New Jersey. The mission of the New Jersey Mental Health Players is to utilize scenarios to increase and role plays and scripted scenarios to increase education and awareness, to decrease stigma and break the silence often associated with mental health. The New Jersey Mental Health Players are volunteers throughout the state of New Jersey, and these volunteers are culturally diverse and include teens, adults, and seniors. 50% of the volunteers have disclosed mental illness and empathize with the challenging gauntlet in seeking and receiving mental health support. The New Jersey Mental Health Player Program combines performances, art, and advocacy. During the COVID-19 pandemic, they transitioned live performances to a virtual platform using Zoom. They've incorporated and advanced scripts demonstrating how current world matters impact our emotional well-being. The New Jersey Mental Health Players performed virtually for over 15,000 participants in 2021 and was awarded the 2022 Richard Van Horten's Innovative Program of the Year Award by Mental Health America. Now, this cannot be done without some major support from an amazing woman I know personally, and she's just phenomenal. Her name is Lynette Sheard, and she is the Community Education Coordinator at the Mental Health Association in New Jersey and the Director of the New Jersey Mental Health Players. She is a sought-after award-winning facilitator and staff development trainer who combines her skills as a professional performer, producer, and director with her passion for mental health advocacy. She is certified by Mental Health America as a trainer of mental health first aid for adults, older adults, and youth, as well as QPR suicide prevention, psychiatric advanced directives, crisis intervention, and trauma-informed care. The New Jersey Mental Health Players, under her leadership, has been awarded the Mental Health America's Richard Van Horten's 2022 Innovative Program of the Year.
So happy that we are having Lynette and the players here. From we started this whole initiative, I wanted to bring them on because it's such a wonderful way of actually talking about a very difficult topic and helping people to engage, not just hearing, but being a part of that process of learning how to actually interact and address sometimes very difficult topic. And the topic we have today is one that many of us, professionals or not, do not want to go there to talk about, and that's about suicide. And this month, in fact, this week is National Suicide Prevention Week. And it's so timely that we're having this program this week to really talk about how do you interact with someone who you may suspect may be thinking of completing suicide. So Lynette, I am so grateful to you and the players for being here today. And I am through with my portion of it. It's all over to you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Wow. I'm going to share my screen. On behalf of the mental health players, thank you for inviting us to engage. And we're going to engage. And how we begin that engagement is I want to begin with talking about a community agreement, a shared power. That while we're talking about the sensitive topic, knowing that Suicide Prevention Month comes once a month, but that doesn't mean that it's not happening the other 11 months of the year. So as we have this conversation, I want you all to really listen and pay attention. And during this part, I encourage all of you to use the chat, use the Q&A to engage, while you're on this presentation. Some things are important: confidentiality, participation. Everyone has the right to participate or pass. Respect yourself and each other. Active listening, listen to understand. Share at your own level. Oops, ouch. I put that there because intent matters, as does impact. Share the airspace. Don't monopolize the time. We have a short amount of time, and so we're not going to exhaust every concern that you might have. But just know that if you want further information, I'm going to put my resource information in the chat and my contact information. Understand that we can hold two truths at the same time. No technology. stay focused. Don't multitask. Put the phone down. You know, if you have something, make yourself comfortable as you're absorbing this information. And there's no such thing, as much as we try, as a completely safe zone, but we promise and we hope that this will be a brave zone for you. Why do we do this? We do this to break the stigma. Stigma is real. Stigma is real. And if you don't believe that it is, try to get something that you think that you really deserve and tell the complete truth about what it is that you need. And think about why you're not telling your truth. A lot of times it's because of stigma. We're going to jump right into it. One of the myths that we hear, and you can utilize the chat, once a person decides to complete suicide, there is nothing anyone can do to stop them. You think this is true or false? Fact or fiction? I'll tell you. Suicide is the most preventable kind of death, and almost any positive action may save a life. And this slide is intended to give all of us hope. When we talk about hope, and we talk about engaging, and we talk about connection, because all we're going to be doing today is talking about ways to connect to people's feelings and not a correction of a behavior that we find uncomfortable with. So these are the new terms, and we connect to people because we want to connect with them. So when we talk about suicide, which is really heavy, language matters when discussing. Language reflects our attitudes and influences and our attitudes of others. Words have power, words matter. So these are some of the new words. Say this, died of suicide rather than committed suicide. Say this, suicide death rather than successful attempt. Say this, suicide attempt rather than unsuccessful attempt. People living with suicidal thoughts or behavior instead of suicide ideated or attempter. Suicide, completed suicide. Describe the behavior instead of manipulative, cry for help, suicide, all these things that we hear, or working with instead of dealing with suicidal crisis. And again, as we learn, as we know better, we do better. And how we're learning this information is many people are now taking surveys and linking to services and providing us this information. A lot of the information that you're seeing in this presentation is from NAMI and different other sources, Mental Health America, and some of the links will be in your chat. So some of the more common signs, warning signs, and I put here, let me move this thing out the way because I don't see me. As first of all, normal is gone. Normal is gone. I'm not gonna say COVID killed normal, but you know, and I'm not making light by using that word. I'm trying to shock you on purpose. Because what we do with the New Jersey Mental Health Players is our series this year is uncomfortable change. People say things all the time that hit us in a way that we don't react. The focus today is we want you to react. We want you to be comfortable in the uncomfortable space that we're going to put you in. So what's not typical? So there's no such thing as normal. My therapist, who I've paid at least $5,000 this month, said to me on our second meeting, there's no such thing as normal, Lynette. It's what's normal for you. And those could have been told to me for $50, but it was so impactful because she's right. There is no such thing as normal. It's what's normal for you. And think about normal being gone. What's typical for you? Okay, it's common signs, common warning signs, which is not typical for the person. Being sad or moody, sudden calmness, withdrawing from others, changes in personality, appearance, sleep pattern, showing dangerous or self-harm behavior, experiencing recent trauma or life crisis, being in a state of deep despair, making preparations, threatening suicide, or talking about wanting to die. Now, again, no two people are alike. So their signs and symptoms are going to be different. What makes it matter, in a sense, is, first of all, knowing something, what's typical for the person. And when they're showing atypical behavior for them in the context of mood, character, and talk, it matters. So how do we begin the conversation? How do we begin the uncomfortable conversation about suicide? Here's some ideas from Mental Health America. Asking open-ended questions. Are you okay? And this is the real hard part. Then this is the part where you don't say anything, you're just listening, but you're listening with your body, with your eyes, with your mood, with your tone. You're conscious of where your energy is and your feeling. Asking the question, are you thinking about suicide? Studies have shown that asking the question does not encourage someone to die by suicide or doesn't plant the seed. The seed, if it's there, it's already planted. And the way they describe it by you asking the question demystifies it, destigmatizes. And the illustration is, imagine a boiling pot. You can put whatever you want in that pot. Collard greens, turkey necks, chicken soup. The lid is on really, really, really tight. You asking that question slides the lid over a little bit, and there's some steam released. It kind of allows a space for someone to share what they're really thinking. Just because you're thinking about it, and this is important, just because you're thinking about it doesn't mean that you have a plan. Also, another conversation starter. I've noticed that. This is so important. Notice what you notice. This part can be confused with advice or being negative or discussing a behavior. For example, I notice you always late. I notice that you never come on time. I notice that you never return my emails. Those aren't the things you notice. Those may be the things that you see, but what you notice, you should notice someone's feelings. I noticed that you seem sad. You notice a change in their atypical. I noticed that you haven't joined us for our walk. I noticed that I haven't seen you put on your red lipstick that you love. Notice things about the person that matter to the person that you notice, because it shows that you really care and that you really are concerned about their feelings. Do you want to take a walk? Seems so simple, but now we can take a walk together. Go outside, get some air. This is mental health and physical health go hand in hand. And so just walking and it kind of takes the focus and keeps the mind clear. And then here's another one, real simple. How are you really? And then the hard part again is that space, the space to receive the answer with grace and calm. And you may be shaking, you may be doing the duck thing because you may suspect something, and you never heard the duck analogy. You see the duck on the water and they're just as calm, enjoying the sunshine, but underneath they're just paddling away. So starting the conversation. How do we start this conversation? This uncomfortable conversation? Lean in. The only real way to know is to ask. If you observe behaviors or signs that worry you, ask. The worst thing that will happen is, if you're correct, is that you may feel a bit, if you're wrong, you may feel a little embarrassed. Suicidal thoughts are often significant red flags that something is wrong. Varying degrees of intensity are most common for people going through hard times. Would you say that we've gone through some hard times? Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. When you feel your spidey senses, your intuition matters. All those things that you have internally that you sense people's energy, consider those things to be real. Should I be worried? Lean in, ask. Just ask. I'm concerned about you. Can we talk? Know your resources. Have an ICE list. If you're prepared to have a conversation with someone, be prepared so that in case you need to offer some type of resources, have some on hand. Print them out, text them, have them in your notes on your phone, things like that. This is very important. Know what's available in your community, in your church, where the counseling centers are. Are there employee assistance programs? Are there local mental health agencies or national crisis support lines like National Suicide Prevention or 988? These conversations provide, and these informational resources provide information, because even if a person may not have or may be thinking about this, you may want to just call yourself just to see what the process will be like if the person decides to make that call. I have always done that. Before I refer someone to someone, I call myself first. so that I can give that information. Well, you're probably going to be online for about 5 minutes, or you may not get someone the first time, just so that you can manage that process. Get comfortable feeling uncomfortable. Create a safe space, whatever that safe space you want. Would you like to sit down? You want to take a walk? You maybe move the person away if you can from a specific situation, or take deep breaths, to focus your heart on compassion. So while you're creating a safe space, you're not just creating a safe space for the person, you're creating a safe space for you too, because you may need a safe space to have this very uncomfortable conversation. Start with, I noticed. I've noticed. Be clear about what you notice. Be clear because it's important. Ask open-ended questions and practice active listening. Active listening is a skill that takes a lot of time, and you don't have to be perfect. But I encourage all of you to just breathe. Part of active listening is a skill called reframing. So as someone says something, you just repeat it back, and it lets people know that you're really listening to them. I know I talk fast. I hope everybody's okay. Everybody okay? Okay. I want to remind, thanks for the hands up. You can use your reaction keys too. I love those. If you have any questions or comments or need me to slow down, use all those things. I put these things, and this is kind of a logo for our Uncomfortable Change series for the players, because it's the Uncomfortable Change series, which is our opportunity to say that there's always a chance when there's a change. There's always a chance when there's a change, and vice versa. So when we're talking about the not normal, there's no such thing as normal, but what's not typical. What I want you to focus on when you're talking to someone, not even about suicide, but anything that's uncomfortable, notice congruency. Notice 3 things. Notice connections between their behavior, their talk, and their mood. Is it congruent? It's like someone saying, I'm not sad. I'm not sad. It doesn't make sense. Like my face does, and when you know someone and you have a sense of that person, you'll even deduce these even quicker. But I want to draw your attention to notice congruency. Notice a congruence between the behavior, the talk, and the mood. Tips on asking the question. Again, nobody's perfect. There is no exact word. There is no normal. It's what's normal for that person, and it's what's the best that you can do. You asking the question means so much more than you realize, because it takes a lot of courage to stand in that space and be prepared and brave enough to hear the answer and to get people to talk. Frame the question. And sometimes when people are going through what you're going through, they find themselves in unimaginable pain. Thoughts like, I wish I could go to bed and not wake up in the morning, or I just don't have the ability to cope. Suicidal thoughts are common. Did you people who feel overwhelmed? We're still in the middle of a pandemic. We are all experiencing a sense of grief. Grief is, you know what grief is? And this is through the grief recovery method. Grief is a loss of a patterns. Sometimes when emotional pain is so intense, people think about suicide. I'm wondering how may have crossed your mind, even if it's just fleeting in the moment. Assume that suicide is on the menu. Oh, no, not them, not so-and-so, not the strong person, not the person who looks like they have it all. No, they wouldn't think about that. Assume that suicide is on the menu. Use direct language. Using the word suicide. Don't beat around the bush. Are you thinking about hurting yourself? Are you thinking about cutting yourself? Use the word. At this point, most people know what it means. Tips on what to do after asking the question. If the answer is no, Notice any nonverbal cues. Remember that congruency, those 3 circles, mood, behavior, talk. Is there congruent? Does it make sense? You know, is the body language matching the tone and all those things? If the no is really a no, people will likely express gratitude that you cared enough to reach out and continue to talk about their troubles. People need the space to talk. You'd be that's why therapists make so much money, because empathy is expensive, but it doesn't have to be. If the response is not clear, sometimes people will respond with a question like, what do you think? Or they'll say something like, no, not really. Sometimes they won't answer the question at all and will just launch into another story. In these situations, the answer is usually yes. Look for congruency. I'm sorry, I'm working on 2 screens here. My mouse just went haywire. Tips on what to do after asking the question if the answer is yes. Let me just encourage all of you. I'm going to lean in a bit. You know how much courage it takes to be honest about your feelings? A lot of people don't answer this question because of stigma. How's it going to affect my job? How's it going to affect my daycare? How's it going to affect my husband? How's it going to affect my children? How's it going to? Everybody except them. First of all, thank them for being honest and you providing that space to talk. A sentiment of partnership is so important. And what that means is doing something together, having some type of plan. Like I'm thinking about things we can check out. Have you talked about, have you ever done something that's helped you when you felt like this in the past? Let's work on that together. Let's build in choice. Build in choice and take action in the moment. Many people experience suicidal thoughts, feel like they have lost control of their own lives. Suicide feels like something they could have control over. To help them reclaim a sense of self-agency, it's important to build in choice points. For example, ask if they want to call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Ask them, invite them, be in some type of mutual agreement together. Allow them, give them the space to have a choice. I'm just going to call 911. Maybe that's not it. Also, keep that in mind. If you are in an active situation where someone is actively suicidal, absolutely do that to protect their own life and also protect yours. What we are hope dealers. We offer hope. We offer hope. And I'm going to go, we have a slide at the end. I want to share some tips on how we do that. But what I like to do now is I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I can figure out, I tell you, I gotta leave. I'm still getting used to these double screens, guys. And then I'm home and I got to sit up at home and then to set up at work. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to stop sharing. And you're going to get the opportunity to hear a conversation. I'm just going to give you a little backstory. Conversation between these 2 neighbors. They're friends. They've been friends for over 15 years. And they live in the same senior residential complex. They have internal and external supports. So when I say 1, 2, 3 action, I want you all to listen to this conversation, use the chat, because you're going to be able to engage with these 2 ladies when they invite you in. All right, 1, 2, 3, action.
Hello.
You finally picked up. Can you turn on your camera so I can see you?
Oh God, I wasn't even. Hold on.
Okay. Ooh, wait, did you just wake up? Look at that messy apartment. Ooh, if I didn't know better, I would think you got robbed. Whew. Are you still sick? I thought you said you tested negative. I was over a month ago, and that was actually the last time I saw you. It's after 12. You're usually dolled up by now. What's up, Carla? You look a mess. This isn't like you. What's up?
Nothing. What? Did you call to insult me? And Don't be looking at my place. What do you want? You better be glad I picked up. What?
What do you mean, what do I want? I'm your friend who's checking on you. I miss you. I miss seeing you. I mean, I was giving you space since your COVID scare, but that's been over a month. And I mean, enough already. You know, we used to talk every day, sometimes twice a day. I mean, I was calling to connect with you to see if you're okay, to invite you to come with me to the comedy show in the community room tomorrow. It should be fun. I need a laugh. Looks like you do.
I don't think so. I don't feel like getting dressed. I can't even deal with the hassle. Who cares anyway? It's old. It's so tiring and hell getting old. Tired of it.
Okay. Guess what?
What?
I'm finally back on the weekly schedule for ShopRite. Access link was late again, and I guess now we are officially back to normal. Despite that, it was so good to see Tim, you know, our old driver. Remember him? Remember?
Huh? Oh,
Remember
yeah.
him?
Hmm.
And Rosa, Tom, Lucy, and Victor. They were all there. Oh, praise God. It felt so good to see so many of our crew make it through this pandemic. I mean, it felt good to get back to normal, you know?
Okay, whatever. I'm not going to the community room. So what else do you want?
I stopped by. I knocked on your door to check on you a few times, and I knew you were home. All those boxes of stuff outside your door. Are you moving? Why didn't you answer? You knew it was me. Why didn't you answer my calls and my text
Oh,
messages? I'm
God.
concerned. I miss talking to you.
What do you want, Teresa? I'm talking to you now. And you know there's still a pandemic going on. I don't want to die from this. Not this COVID crap. Mm-mm.
Well, if you would have answered your door, your phone, or come downstairs, you would know that the building is coordinating a schedule for all the residents to get the new booster vaccine.
I don't even care. Like, what difference does it make? Old booster, new booster. It won't make a difference whether I get one or not. I don't care.
I'm planning to travel to Texas to see my new great grandchild. Oh, in person. Life is moving along. No more Zoom. Amen.
Good for you, Teresa. I'm glad for you. I'm over it.
Over what? What are you saying?
All of this. All of it. Everything over it.
What are you talking about?
Teresa, you really want to know?
Yes. Yes, of course. That's why I've been knocking on your door, calling and texting you.
Thanks, but I've decided I'm never coming out of this apartment. I would rather die from natural causes or whatever than to live like a prisoner to this pandemic nightmare. I'm tired. I'm getting old. I feel helpless. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of this. I'd rather go peacefully in my safe space, you know?
Wait, what are you saying?
You don't get it. I
Carla?
I don't want to talk. Goodbye, friend. Just
Wait, no. What did I say? Oh my God, should I call her back? What could I say to her?
Okay, I see some notes in the chat. What should happen next? What should she say to her? Should she call her back? You can unmute your lines or you can use the chat. I note, I'm gonna, as you all are coming on, some of the things I asked, what are the signs you're noticing? Teresa's not attentively listening, noticing the messy apartment. Carla's nonchalant. I felt mortified to hear how Teresa spoke to Carla, so lacking empathy and judging and always stigmatizing poor Carla. all the opposites of what peer specialists do. What to be, wanting to be by herself, not wanting to do anything, feeling like she's giving up on life, which is why we need more BIPOC peers rather than someone who can't walk in a mile in the other peer's shoes. Oh no, Teresa is making it about her and not looking at Carla's concerns. Go to her house. Oh, you all are really, and you all can see all these. Teresa, I'm going to invite Carla. Carla, can you come back? Now, what should she say to Carla? What could she say? Is there a question you think she could ask her based upon what this presentation is about?
Ask her the direct question. Carla, are you thinking of hurting yourself? Carla, are you thinking of ending it?
Why don't you ask that to Carla?
Carla, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Are you thinking of hurting yourself?
I don't know. I'm just tired. I don't get what this is all for.
What do you need?
Some people leave me alone. I just want to be safe.
Teresa, do you hear your friend? Do you have any response to that? Or does anyone on this Zoom have a response for that? It's intended to be uncomfortable.
Hi,
I
Carla.
can't hear you.
Hi, Carla. I hear that you want to be left alone, but I would not like that because I'm your friend. Have you considered killing yourself?
Like suicide?
Like suicide, yes.
Yes, but I'm afraid. I don't, what if it doesn't work? What if it hurts? What if I'm making a mistake, but I don't like it here? I don't like it here.
Have you gotten things together to start doing that?
Are you going to tell?
I love you, you're my friend, and yes, I'm going to call somebody.
I have pills.
You have pills.
I didn't take them, but I have them.
There's this new lifeline that really offers a lot of help and a lot of support to people. I've called before when I was having trouble. It's 988. Can we call together?
Fine. But I'm not going to say anything.
You don't have to say anything. But stay on the phone with me while I call.
All right, what I'm going to do is at this time, I'm going to kind of put a frame on this conversation because I do have a few more slides, but I want to give the opportunity to Teresa and Carla to have a final word about what just happening or what their next steps may be. So Teresa, I notice this, I can see by your face how hard it is to hear this of your friend, and how are you feeling?
Well, I realized I wasn't even listening. I made it all about what I was dealing with in life, the good stuff, and just thought I was on the call talking to Carla like we always did. And I wasn't even listening to what she was trying to tell me. And, I just, Carla, I'm first of all, I'm really sorry and that I did that. But, I see that, I made comments about your apartment and I didn't realize what was going on. But I mean, if you want, I could come and help you clean up and, get you some groceries, get you anything that you need. I could come stay with you. I mean, we're in the same building. I could come stay with you, for however long you want me to, or, just come talk, or, whatever you feel comfortable with. I am concerned for your safety at this point, and I don't like seeing my friend, um, going through this and feeling this way. I don't want you to feel like you don't have options and you don't have a way out of this, because you do. And you have my support. I know that there's other friends and that we have here that are would be so supportive if you chose to tell them, although I won't tell them. And it's up to you who you want to be involved. But I think that Kamani had a really good suggestion about calling for some help. And it's okay if things are overwhelming and you need a little bit more support, like that's okay. And I'm willing to do whatever it is that you need right now.
I'll get on the call. You're all happy. You got happy stuff. I have nothing. I want to be happy, but I don't even know how. So I'll get on the call, but it doesn't mean I'm going to say anything or,
You
okay.
don't say anything. And we can, before we make the call, we can talk about what you're comfortable, what would make you most comfortable on the call. And I can do the
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies. I'm going to let you all go so that you all can make that call. And you can open the door for Teresa. And I'm going to share with these nice people who are on the call. Thank you, ladies, for joining us today.
Thank you.
So are you all seeing my screen correctly?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And I know that was pretty heavy, but I want to remind you again of behavior, talk, and mood. What is the congruency? Pay attention to those things, because it's easier when you know someone and you have a sense of that person. But I wanted to leave all of us with the opportunities to encourage us that we have the power with our words to build resilience. So I like 2 volunteers, and this will take 1 minute, Faith and Kim. I need 2 volunteers. If you all can just, and all I'm gonna have you do, just so you know, all I'm gonna have you do is read. Okay, so Tom, and who is my second volunteer?
I can read.
Okay, and Jamie. Okay, so Tom, you're going to read toxic positivity, and Jamie, you're going to read the opposite, the hope and validation. So, and I want you to put your acting chops on here. All right, so we'll begin. So go ahead, Tom, you go first.
You just have to be positive.
And Jamie, you're going to read the opposite, hope and validation. Do you see it? You're muted.
Is it I read the opposite of it? Like, I'm
Yeah,
sure it feels
I'm
hard
sure.
to be positive.
Yeah, you say, you're reading, I'm sure it feels hard.
I'm sure it feels hard to be positive in a situation like this.
Okay, Tom.
Stop being so negative.
Jamie.
It's normal to feel negative in this situation.
Never give up.
It's okay to give up sometimes. Would the outcome be ideal if you did?
You should look for the good.
It's probably hard to see any good in this right now. How can we make sense of it?
I'm sure it's not as bad as it seems.
This is hard, but I believe in you to get through it.
There are worse things out there in the world.
This is really tough, and I'm here for you.
Thank you so much. You all did a wonderful job. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. As soon as I can find this mouse, I'm going to stop.
There's one more.
Oh, there is one more. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, you cut me off.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It will all be okay, I think.
That's
is
the
what
main
it's
one, right?
The screen again. I'm sorry. Can I have it up back again?
Are you all not seeing it?
No.
No,
I'm
we're
sorry.
not.
Okay, I was sharing it again. Let me just share it again.
Okay.
It will
Okay, one
all
second,
be
one second,
okay.
one second, I'm sorry. Okay, are you seeing it now?
Yes, it needs to be a little bit
Okay.
bigger though.
Okay,
Tom, you see on your side, your end?
Yes.
Okay, it's
Okay.
my turn now. Okay. I understand why it doesn't feel on right now. Oops. And I'm here for you. Sorry.
okay, thank you. Thank you, I'm sorry, guys, sorry for the technical difficulties, but thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, you're right. This could be a total workshop by itself. Thank you so much. I appreciate this, really, really do. And who knows, maybe that's something that we could actually do, because we're planning for next year. What are some of the programmings that we're going to be having? But thank you so much, Lynette and players. We really appreciate this, because the little skit really brought it together. That's what I loved, what you shared initially, and what the skit really helped to bring it to life. That was wonderful. So we are going to be moving forward in a bit, but I don't know if Kim, you have something you want to add to this, because I mean, ooh.
I do have something I want to add to this, but I am going to ask everybody to come off mute or to go ahead and put the little hands up with the what do you call those things? The reactions.
The reaction.
And give the players, and now we understand why they are award winners. Please give them a round of applause, some clicks on the hand. They just did a fabulous job. I mean, truly superb. And like I said, they are volunteers. They're volunteers. They don't get paid. They get love. And this is how this is give them some more money with some more love. They're just amazing. And Elena, I can't thank you enough for the work that you do. And I'm so honored to be able to work alongside you. And just and study in your shadow, trust me.